Go to motion.
There we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of New Era Prep Nightly here on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. I'm your host, Christian Proscia. I'm joined here with my amazing producer, Stephen Luker. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We are back on this. It's rainy down in South Florida. I would say beautiful, but guess what? I got rained on walking into my house. As y'all can tell, the hair is not as luscious as it usually is. But before we get into tonight's episode, I'd like to start by sending my thoughts and prayers to the family of Hollywood star and legend James Earl Jones, who passed away earlier this afternoon at 93 years old. For those that don't know, James Earl Jones is one of the GOATs, being able to voice Darth Vader, Mufasa. He was in Coming to America. Any good movie, James Earl Jones was probably in. So just want to start that off because basically my childhood revolved around a lot of his movies. So rest in peace. With that being said, as y'all could probably tell, yes, I am extremely sunburned from Saturday's FAU home opener against Army. As you can also tell, yes, I am in my feels since Saturday afternoon with the Owls losing. More to come about that on tomorrow's episode of the LaStella Report. I'm sure me and Robbie are going to be breaking that game down. Make sure you tune into that one tomorrow night. But yeah, FAU lost. Bit of a heartbreaker. I thought we were going to squeak out the home opener. Army's a very good team. Triple option football is not fun when you're a videographer. It is not fun to video 90 consecutive plays of triple option football, Steven. I'm telling you, bro, I was so bored by halftime. But shout out to the Canes and the Dolphins for lifting my spirits. We are currently 2-0 in Hard Rock Stadium to start this beautiful football season. Another week of high school football is now behind us. As y'all can tell, that's kind of why you watch my show. Y'all don't care about my bold hot takes of how bad the Marlins are. But the final scores from this weekend include from the Thursday slate, Jupiter Christian defeating Glades Day 26-14, Glades Central defeating Palm Beach Lakes 41-13, John I. Leonard defeating Olympic Heights 34-20, Somerset Canyons defeating Key West, the Conks. Coolest mascot ever, the Conks. I love it. Shout out Key West. I'm now a big fan of your program. I want some conch fritters, Steven. But 22-14 victory for the set. Steven's nodding his head. He knows those conch fritters are good. You don't really get those out in Cali, do you, my friend? Nah, that's a Florida thing. I guess you got to come visit. I could see him. Y'all can't. Oxbridge defeating Somerset Key 20-14. Then Friday night, Palm Beach Central defeating Spanish River 40-21. Cardinal Newman defeating Benjamin in the New Era Prep 561 game of the week 34-20. My TKA Lions defeating Gulliver Prep 35-15. Big win for my Lions. Shout out to the boys. Santa Lucia's defeating Boynton Beach 28-6. Atlantic High defeating North Miami Beach 43-7. Pahokee defeating Seminole Ridge 28-3. Sorry to the Falcons fans in the room. I know that number just triggered a lot of PTSD. Jupiter High defeating Palm Beach Garden 17-0. Boca High defeating St. Andrews 35-22. Forest Hill defeating Lake Worth 28-0. Dr. Garcia defeating Hollywood Hills 29-0. Heritage Del Rey defeating Astronaut, that's a cool name, 21-10. Fortunately, cool name doesn't equal wins. Martin County defeating Dwyer 17-7. Royal Palm defeating Suncoast 40-11. Park Vista defeating Wellington High 14-11 on a game-winning touchdown rush. Those were all the Palm Beach County games that were played this week. Teams have started to take bye weeks. I believe West Boca was the only Palm Beach team to have a bye week this week. Now we're going to take things up to our friends in the 772 area where John Carroll defeated Centennial 45-30. Supposedly great game. Martin County, like I said, versus Dwyer 17-7. Fort Pierce Central defeating Nova, not the college, 35-8. Sebastian River defeating Harmony 23-7. Homestead defeating Vero 42-33. First Academy defeating Treasure Coast 42-7. St. Edwards defeating Pinecrest 30-7. South Fork defeating Okeechobee 43-0. Frostproof, that's a weird name. Frostproof defeating Port St. Lucie 7-0. Tradition Prep losing to Bayside 38-0. And in the New Era Prep 7-7-2 game of the week, Jensen Beach defeated Fort Pierce Westwood 35-7 in a very dominant win for the Falcons. I'm sure my good friend, Mr. Mike Fabian, will be making an appearance on the show probably Wednesday. That's kind of what we're planning for. Taking things down to the south end of the state in the 954 and the 305. I'm combining them for usability's sake. The top matchups from this weekend included St. Thomas Aquinas defeating Miami Columbus 42-6. For the FAU fans in the building, Brandon Hoke recorded his first receiving touchdown of the season. So go Owls. Miami Central defeated Booker T. Washington 55-25. Miami Northwestern defeated Carroll City 42-7. Archbishop McCarthy defeated St. Brendan 45-6. Monsignor Pace defeated True North 26-7. Hialeah defeated Doral 35-7. Ransom Everglades defeated Coral Springs Charter. That's a mouthful. 38-3. And for the 954 game of the week, Chaminade Madonna gets into the win column for the first time this season with a 48-45 victory over American Heritage Plantation. Great game being played at Chaminade. Wish I was able to go down, but we had live coverage of the game. As always, make sure you're tuning into New Era Prep social medias, at Era Prep on Twitter, at New Era Prep on Instagram, and neweraprep.org for live high school football coverage in the Quad County area from the Treasure Coast counties all the way down to Mr. 305. No, we are not Pitbull. No, Pitbull's name isn't on any of our stadiums. Sorry, guys. But I'm hearing the works of maybe a Christian Proscia field at the King's Academy might be happening soon. That would be pretty cool. Let's get on that. I'll get Coach Winters and President Martin on the phone. They love talking to me, Stephen. My old alma mater loves keeping in touch with me, so I'm going to make sure to get my name on a stadium soon because I think it rolls off the tongue. But before we move into our quick early break, we had a massive commitment from one of our local stars. Yesterday afternoon, Seminole Ridge linebacker Ty Jackson announced his verbal commitment to the University of South California. USC, go Trojans. They do a peace sign, right? Right, Stephen? They do like a little two. All right, shrug your shoulders at me, Stephen. I've seen Caleb Williams hold this up a bunch. I don't know if he's just being a sassy queen or if that's actually a thing. But Ty Jackson announced his commitment to USC. Ty Jackson is a 6'2 ball hawk linebacker. Kid's an absolute athletic freak. And he's the nationally ranked the number one linebacker and as a top 50 recruit in the class of 2025 per on 3. Ty is an absolute athletic. Ty is a very athletic young man. Like I said, he's an absolute ball hawk. I love watching him play. He's a very dominant figure on both sides of the ball because Seminole Ridge likes throwing him in at tight end every now and then. He can even catch his punts, Steven. Why would you let your best player catch punts and do kick returns? You want to know why? Because he's your best player and because he's a top 50 recruit in the country. Ty Jackson is an absolute guy. USC is getting a great one, and he's joining a very talented USC recruiting class. There we go. Y'all know the Lisp loves to catch up with me. But Lincoln Riley's getting an absolute dude, and I'm really excited for one of our top guys to be able to go out and really perform in some Big Ten football. I really like this move. Ty Jackson, if picture whatever your favorite school growing up with, Ty Jackson had an offer from there. 27 Division One FBS offers recorded, but I'm sure he had more because he's an absolute guy. Like I said, congrats, Ty. We're all proud of you. I'm gonna try to get out to a game at some point because I love watching you play, dude. I'm going to be at one of your games very soon for high school, but definitely would love the free trip to Cali. Steven, can I stay with you? How far is USC from your place? Is that far? Is it a little bit of a drive? It's a little bit of a drive plus Cali traffic. Might have to get an Airbnb, but stay tuned because me and Steven will be providing some USC football coverage in the very near future. Before we head into our break, I want to highlight what's coming in the next 45 minutes of this show. I'm going to be joined here with West Boca High head coach Dylan Potts, where we're going to talk some Bulls football. The only time you'll see these Bulls going up, Steven, is when we were talking some West Boca football. This means USF football. We don't like them, Steven. Not in this Proscia household. We are Canes and we are Owls. None of this. None of this. A little bit of this because I have some friends that go there, so I'll be nice. But we will also be joined with the New Era Prep Week 3 MVP, Mr. Chance Routson from Palm Beach Central, following a 5-touchdown performance against Spanish River. When we come back from the break, more will be happening soon. Stay tuned, guys. What's going on, everybody? This is Christian Pro Show. We are back from our break where booting up our second screen, where I'm going to be joined with the man who has the most. What's up, Coach? Okay, sounds good. All right, got you. I don't know if y'all could hear Coach, but he was just talking to me. So before before we get into things, I would like to introduce Coach Potts a little while he's getting some technical difficulties set up. Coach Potts is the only person with better hair than me. Whenever I see that man, he has the most perfect comb over, best smile, real infectious dude, great football coach. If you ever see Coach Potts, he has, like I said, he has the most clean lineup on his head. So actually, he just got a haircut earlier this weekend, so that's going to be something that's definitely getting brought up. But while Coach Potts is still getting some technical difficulties situated, West Boca is 3-0 on the year, 2-0 on the regular season, with just dominant wins over some of Palm Beach County's top teams. West Boca has one of the most stacked teams top to bottom, featuring 4-star running back Javian Mallory, 3-star quarterback Mason Mallory, 3-star wide receiver Mark Hannaford, um, 4-star defensive back Jaden Broadnax, 3-star defensive back Damon Allen, who FAU fans know and love. That's our guy. He's staying home. Um, Defensive lineman Xavier Reed and Demetrius Gathers, alongside a plethora of more talent. But while we get into this, I'd like to talk about West Boca's recent dominant win over Palm Beach Central that happened during week 2, where JV Mallory didn't really play that much, but West Boca's offense did not skip a beat, despite what most people might think leading into the year. West Boca's running back core absolutely dominated, featuring a 125-yard and 2 touchdown performance from Jaden Lockhart and a rushing touchdown from backup quarterback Trey Moran. The Bulls' offense really shined on its ability to have a fluid offense where they really lit it up in the passing game. But Coach Potts, are you ready? All right, Steve, let's bring them on. 2, 1. There we go. What's up, Coach Potts? How you doing, my friend?
What's going on, Christian? How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me all good?
Yes, sir.
Everything situated?
Yeah, we're all good to go now.
All right. First off, like I said earlier, on my little intro about you, you got a haircut the other day. How did the cut come out, my friend?
It's always good. Anytime you got to go over to FAU, you got to make sure you're looking good before you get over there.
That's very true. You, you look good, you play good, you coach good, and you get to watch some good football with FAU. Definitely not side eyeing myself with said comment, but really starting out this interview, the first question, I actually really don't know the answer. What was your coaching experience and progression leading into taking the West Boca job? How did we get to where we are today?
So I'm originally from Ohio. I played ball at Akron, and then after I finished up playing, I was coaching up in the New England area at a college post grad. Did that for a season, then got the offensive coordinator job down at Belen Jesuit in Miami for 2 years, and did that for 2 years. And then that's when the West Boca job came open, and I thought it was a great opportunity, and here we are now.
Like you said, West Boca is the great opportunity, and it certainly has appeared that way over your time as the head coach. After taking the reins of a West Boca team that's had a couple down years prior to you getting there, as a coach, how did you begin the process of developing the culture of success that we see today?
Well, I think you always look for a few key points when you take a job, and the number one thing is having an administration that supports what you do, and we definitely have that here at West Boca. We have great administration. We have people on campus that give us the resources to be successful. So from there, it's kind of the job on the coaches, and I think we've been fortunate enough to put together probably one of the best staffs in the state of Florida, just with the amount of just guys with NFL college experience, but also good people. So I think anytime you have great administration, you have great assistant coaches, I think you have a chance to be successful.
Like you said, you have a very talented coaching staff with elite college and pro experience. Can we really expound on that more and talk about the guys that are leading the future of football?
Absolutely. I think when you go down the list, you have guys from all over the country with our defensive coordinator Herbert Gamboa, originally from California, played ball at Montana for 4 years and was in camp with the Chiefs. Just a very well-minded, everything you look for in a DC, brings the energy, has that, tenacity. And I think the defensive guys really play hard under him. You have a former Lou Groza Coach of the Year, Coach Alfonso Moran, leading the D-line, does a great job really developing those guys. Coach Jason Reed, who played, one of the best players ever play here in Palm Beach County at OH, and then, at Illinois State. And then on the offensive side, we got guys like Mark Richards, who just joined us at running back coach, played at UCF. Rich Alexis played with the Jaguars for 7 years as a running back. Jacoby Ford, one of the best in Palm Beach County to do it at receiver. Coach Toozy, Coach Abshire, Coach Cook. I could keep going down the line of really talented coaches that we have on here. But more importantly, they're all really good guys that really get their kids to play hard for them.
And then, like you said, the addition of Mark Richards to your staff was right before the season. Marky, one of the more talented players to come out of Palm Beach County in recent memory, hailing from Wellington High, going to Auburn, going to UCF, and being an absolute workhorse running back. Being able to have a guy like him leading the running back room and teaching your very talented running back room that we're going to talk about in a second, teaching them how to be a professional. What does that mean to you as a coach to really, hey, this guy's been where you want to go, so I recommend listening to him.
No, absolutely. Coach Mark's been great since he's got with us. He's done a really good job of getting the kids, to buy into his style of coaching, and like I said, and getting those kids to really play hard for him and kind of give him he's younger on the sense of so he's a lot maybe at times closer in age to the players than some of our other coaches. So I always think it's good to bring in youth experience and especially guys that have done it here in this county. And to me, that's very, very important. And overall, Coach Mark's just a great guy. And I know all of our running backs have really improved since he's joined us and as the assistant running back coach.
After taking the reins of West Boca, this team has had a lot of buzz and success surrounding them, going and just being one of the top teams in South Florida. How have you been able to make sure that everybody on your team doesn't buy into the hype, become quote unquote pretty boys, and stay laser focused throughout the remainder of this season?
I think it's having that standard, and we know what the standard. We've set that standard here at West Boca, so the kids know what the expectations are. The coaches know what the expectations are, and it's every day living up to that standard. Coming out first, today first practice after a bye week, and probably having one of our best practices of the year. And that's it's all credit to the kids of really buying in and just knowing what the main focus is right now. We're trying to go 1-0 in every week, and we believe we have the team. If we do that, we'll have a chance to be playing in December. But right now, it's really just focusing on one game at a time.
This team is absolutely, from top to bottom, like I said, loaded with talent, especially on your offense. In your running back room, it's led by 4-star running back Javian Mallory, but you've got two other dudes with a Division I FBS offer, and they've already contributed heavily early on into this season. What does that show you as a head coach about there being no talent drop-off in your backfield?
Well, we built this team around running the football and playing defense and being tough. So obviously, we need more than one running back. And I think we always take that Georgia approach to it. We like to play 4 running backs. They all have a different skill set, and we like to utilize them all a bunch of different ways. Obviously, Javian's kind of a jack of all trades. He does a little bit of everything and kind of really dominate the game from anywhere. So having those guys behind him, where Javian doesn't have to carry the ball 25 times on himself, is a big emphasis for us because at the end of the day, we all know what Javian's going to be doing at the next level and hopefully after the next level after that. So, us as a staff and coach, we're not going to put that wear and tear on Javian, which is letting him, carry the ball 35 times, knowing that that's probably not the best thing for him in his career right
now. And that kind of piggybacks into the next question. Quote unquote question mark regarding this offense leading into spring ball and summer was how would you delineate the run and the pass? Those questions have been quiet very early on. Y'all shut everybody up with Mason Mallory and Mark and Zach really lighting up the pass offense. How have you seen this offense really develop throughout spring ball and summer ball into now?
Well, I just think it's a matter of Mason being in year 3, having the addition of Mark Hannaford, guys like Zach Walls, kids like Billy Clancy, Jaden Elder, Kyle Andrews all have a year experience under them now. And so you just see the maturation with the kids of, now they're not the young freshmen anymore. A lot of these kids have played a lot of varsity ball. And, it starts with Mason and Trey at quarterback, and they've done just a great job this year of doing what we need them to do and really focusing on, being accurate and, finding different ways. It's not always, hey, let's take the top off the defense or, hey, let's just work on it in the pocket. We try to be creative with a lot of tunnel screens, sprint outs, find a lot of different ways to get these guys the ball. But, I as a coach try not to make it overcomplicated because it's, at the end of the day, it's about just getting your playmakers the ball.
And then you spoke a little bit about the diversity of this offense, especially you're one of the few programs that run a 2 QB set frequently, not just because somebody's having a down day, somebody got banged up. No, you're just getting Mason and Trey involved throughout the entire offense. How have you really played into both of their strengths where maybe Trey's a little more athletic as far as a rushing ability than Mason? He said it, not me. He told me that the other day. He's like, I am very slow. But being able to get both of those guys involved and really build confidence for the younger generation.
Well, I mean, we have all the confidence in both of our quarterbacks. I have all the faith in the world. They both can go out there at any given day and take the game over. But it's like you said, they each have a different skill set, we try to utilize that to our advantage. And I think that makes us very hard to prepare for at times. And I almost look at it as, the Chris Leak, Tim Tebow, what the Gators used to do back in the day with that. So it's just about, finding different ways, we built the program around playing a lot of kids and, developing kids and trying to get them to the next level. And the quarterback position is no different. So, I just like we're going to play 4 running backs, just like we're going to play 6 or 7 receivers, just like we're going to play 7 DBs, we're going to play 2 quarterbacks. So we try to keep guys fresh, knowing that, but they both do a great job of what they bring to the table and what we ask them to do.
Mason is a guy that going into this season, I said was one of the biggest winners from spring ball to now. I I've seen him develop over the past couple of years, but the jump between last season to this year is like a world record triple jump. Like he's improved so much. Can you talk about just what was that like being able to really develop him throughout this offseason into what we see today?
Well, it's all credit to Mason. I mean, he him, Xavier Reed, JV, and some of our top end guys, they've worked so extremely hard, throughout the spring and throughout the summer. And I think Mason's just, really benefiting from being 2 years in the system now, third year as a starter, but really took his work ethic to the next level this summer. And not only just his work ethic, but just being a leader and getting the kids to buy into what he's doing and stuff like that. And that's where I've seen the biggest growth of him emotionally and mentally from a player, and has really taken that next step. He's just a lot calmer, cooler, collective this year. It's not as, he knows he can get the job done on any given Friday, Thursday night. So he's a lot more relaxed this year, and I think you're seeing it right now. Like I said, he's just playing calm and cool. When he's playing like this, it's hard to stop us on offense.
And then we talked a little bit about the maturity of this team. West Boca was for the past couple of years. It's West Boca is going to be really special. They got all these guys that are really young, and this, that, and the other. They're getting old on us, Coach. We're getting old. We've seen them grow up from little bitty freshmen to now they're juniors. Some of them are seniors. Where have you seen the biggest maturity and leadership like development of this team? Like them all growing together.
Well, I mean, I think it's the kids of some of these kids now they're in their third year starting. A lot of our kids, we're still a junior and sophomore heavy team, even though we have some really good seniors on the team this year. We're still pretty junior and sophomore dominant, but it's a player led team now, and I always say that when the players start leading and the players kind of take control of, hey, this is how we do things here. You have guys like Damon Allen and Jaden Broadnex who really set the standard for young corners like Jalen Roll and Kyrell Thomas who come in here and they learn how to get on that level very, very quickly by older guys leading that way. And unfortunately, 2 years ago we didn't have that. Those freshmen came in and they were they kind of had to learn under themselves, and so they've had to go through some of those growing pains. And now this young freshman class, and even some of these sophomores, still can really look up to our juniors and seniors, and by them showing the way, just not what they do on the field, but how they carry themselves off the field, how they are in the classroom, how they are in the community, all those things.
Somebody that is definitely a big winner in the classroom and in the community is Mr. Xavier Reed. He is one heck of a football player, and that kid is a nerd as well. He is just an absolute weight room demon. He really takes heart in the classroom, and in doing so, all the things have connected to where he's been receiving Ivy League offers left and right. Can we talk a little bit about the ability to prepare your guys for this is what life after football is about, being able to put them in the spots of when it's all said and done, they could be coming out of this with an Ivy League education. That's impressive.
That's all credit to Xavier and his family and his upbringing, because Xavier really applies himself so much in the classroom, but so much on the field and everything he does. He's Xavier is really one of those kids that wants to be elite whatever he does. And like I said, I think he sets the standard not just for our defense but our entire team of what what we expect as a leader on the field, as a leader off the field, is what you're supposed to be doing in the classroom. I mean, like I said, Xavier is, to me, the top defensive lineman in South Florida, and I'll stand on that. Just like I said, just from a production standpoint, from what he does overall, like I said, he's going to have plenty of offers to go, whether it's Ivy League, Group of Five, Power Five. He's going to have a chance to go a little bit of everywhere. And like I said, it's ultimately, I think it's something special to have that ability to go to the Ivy League if you do try, go that route.
And then this defense as a whole, like I want to really talk about your secondary. Jaden Broadnax and Damon Allen, like you said, have just been absolute guys. They're a confident duo. They are so fun to be around. Like Like their energy is just crazy good. Can we talk about really them growing and getting stronger as the night goes on?
No, I mean those two guys are definitely our leaders in the secondary, and like you said, they bring that energy every day, and it's just not on game day either. Jaden Broadnex brings that energy every day of practice, and those guys fuel off that. Damon brings that energy every day of practice, and they really get the defense going on top, with our defensive line. It's a really solid unit from top to bottom. There's really no weaknesses on that defense. It's a lot of guys that played a lot of snaps, and we have the ability to kind of be very multiple in defense if we want to. We want to sit back and play some cover four and play some zone. We want to say, hey, we got the guys to lock you up and bring pressure. And I think our defensive staff and our defensive coordinator does a great job of really mixing it up. We're not just sitting back. We're not just bringing pressure the whole time. We have the ability to do a lot of different things, and it makes it easy when you at times when you got Jaden Broadnex and Damon on the outside. So it kind of frees up a lot of things to do defensively.
We talked a little bit about the front seven, led by Xavier, Demetrius, and Grant and Max, who have just been guys that get to the football, whether it's like any which way there is a party in the backfield at some point during each drive. Being able to have guys that disrupt the flow of an offense, what is that like to really just know of, hey, we can shut out, like we're not really getting into shootouts. It's we can control the game.
Well, I mean that's our brand of football, and I think that's what we've kind of built the team to be of what we see. We want to run the ball, control the clock, and play defense. We want to be tough. We want to be physical. We want to take care of the ball, and we believe when we do that, we're going to be in every football game. I mean, I think if you look over the last couple of years, the teams that have won the national championships have been teams that have been run emphasis heavy and play defense. Michigan, the Georgias, and things like that. So we believe that's a blueprint to win a championship. So it makes it easier at times on our offense, knowing that we have all the faith in the world that it's going to be hard for teams to score on our defense. Like I said, we go in the game every week thinking that our defense is going to pitch a shutout. So we're thinking, hey, we get 3 points, we're going to win the game. And obviously we played two really good football teams so far, so we haven't had any shutouts. But we played, those two teams that we played are really good offensively as well too. So that defense is going to keep us in every football game.
Like you said, starting off the year hot, 2-0 in regular season play versus some of South Florida's top teams. What has been the energy inside this locker room, especially after two successful regular season games, to continue staying red hot and not fall off after a bye week?
Well, I think it's knowing right now we kind of control our destiny. We're going to take a week by week, but knowing we beat two really good football teams, but we're not satisfied. We know we haven't played our best football yet. We know we're going to play some really tough teams throughout the rest of the year. So it's about just getting prepared, to face those teams week in and week out. Because, like you said, with our schedule this year, we really don't have any off weeks.
Coming off of a very offensively controlled win versus Palm Beach Central, week 2, y'all got a bye week last week. What is the benefits of being able to have a bye week early on in the season and be able to rest and heal up after being early in the season?
Well, I think when you come out of training camp, it's one of the biggest grinds of the entire part of the year for us. So you kind of look at that 3-4 week training camp that you get a chance to and then play weeks 1 and 2. So I always think the early bye week really benefits us this way to kind of just mentally get refreshed, physically get refreshed, and like we told our kids, hey, from here on out, it's 12, 13 weeks straight, and we're open playing in December.
Going into this week's matchup versus Seminole Ridge, what can we expect from this squad going forward?
I think you're going to see a lot like what we did against Palm Beach Central. We hope to stay, hot coming off offensively, and I think that's a big piece for us. Offensively, we got off to slow starts against Jupiter and Benjamin, and in the Benjamin game, we really put ourselves behind the 8 ball. But I think that the focus is going to be staying hot offensively, and I think as we keep expanding our pass game, that's really helping everything out offensively, and then defensively, it's going to be just doing what we do. Getting after the QB, 11 hats of the football guys running around, flying around on defense, and just keeping us in every game, and not only keeping us, winning us games as well too. So I think you're just going to see us continue to play that brand of football of, hey, we're going to fly around, we're going to have energy, we're going to be tough, we're going to run the football, and we're going to be physical and play defense all night.
And then you spoke a bit about postseason football going into this year, but I want to take a little trip down memory lane from one of my favorite plays of all time. You know what's coming. the Hail Mallory against Atlantic to secure your guys' first playoff victory under you. Being able to have that play, and it's, hey, we've won a playoff game with such a young team going into the remainder of their careers. How have you used that to keep them hungry? Of y'all got a little taste of success, but now this is where big guy football comes in.
Exactly. I think last year after the Atlanta game, we had a little bit of taste of success of what it feels like to make, win a playoff game. And now this year, we're looking at going all the way. Like I said, we're taking it week by week, and I think we're going to be prepared for those moments. I think that this regular season schedule is going to kind of set us up for the playoffs to really be prepared by playing some of the best teams and in the entire state throughout the year. And that's what we want to be doing, is playing our best football come week 11, week 12.
And that's the thing about you guys is, in order to be the best, you've played the best, and you're going to play the best. If you look down this roster, there is no quote unquote easy team for you guys. Like there's no slouch, there's no cupcakes. It's just good football every week for you guys. Being able to build that schedule, what was that kind of like?
Well, we wanted our kids to be challenged week in and week out, and at the end of the day, we wanted to be ready when it came, time for the playoffs. We wanted to be challenged to see all different types of teams, and I think that's what we're between Benjamin, Palm Beach Central, Western, Bishop Faro, Atlantic, Treasure Coast. You're going to see a lot of different teams. You're going to see a team like Treasure Coast who's going to line up in single wing and run the football. Then you're going to turn around and see a team like Bishop Faro who's got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Then you're going to see a team like Atlantic that's playing, better football than anyone right now. Playing some really good football, and Palm Beach Central and Benjamin, same thing. So, and that's not, that's just our non-district schedules. And obviously, we got teams in our district that are going to line up and play good football week in and week out. So it's about getting ready for the playoffs. And I think, this regular season is really going to get us, shape for the postseason.
And then you spoke about everybody really playing some good football, but I want to just really talk about you guys being such a dominant team. How are we going to be able to just keep everybody's heads on straight and not let, like I kind of said earlier, not let success get to their heads, especially as the season comes on, the wins keep racking up? How are we going to be able to just keep everybody level, hyped, still be hyped, but go into every game like you're 0-0?
I think it's a routine of the everyday structure and the routine and the organization and the practice of not letting it up from a coach's perspective of, hey, we're coming off a bye week, we're 2-0, let's chill a little bit on a Monday and just get back into it. And we're coming off a bye week and we're going to have a tough, hard-nosed practice. So it's about keeping that standard up and and our guys competing every day in practice. And I think that's what really shapes our our team more than anything is, I tell our offense all the time, you're going against one of the best defenses in the state. So if you're having success on them at times, you have a chance to have success on everyone. And we're seeing a lot of good things, but I think it's that competition every day in practice. Everything we do, every period is revolved around competition. It's good on good. It's not, hey, just guys going against a scout team to get this look. Like, we are competing in everything we do every single day, and it's just maintaining that standard.
And then finally, this is a fun little question I've liked asking the coaches is, we live in South Florida, and I'm sure if you look out the window at the school right now, it looks like a Cat 5 hurricane is going through, or maybe that's just at my house. Being able to game plan around Mother Nature, being able to game plan your practices around it, what is that like to be able to, hey, maybe we move workouts to the morning, maybe we lift in the evening, stuff like that? Like, what was that kind of like?
Well, I mean, that's something that we experienced last year where we missed a ton of practice time throughout fall camp. So this going into this year, we switched all morning practices, and it really worked out well because I don't think we missed one practice, throughout camp until school started. So it's just having a plan of, at the end of the day, you're in South Florida, as you say, so you're always going to have that unexpected weather if something happens. So it's having a plan of, okay, hey, we might not physically be able to get out on the field today, but how are we going to get better? We're going to get in the weight room, or we're going to get in the classroom, or we're going to do walkthroughs. Like, what are we going to do? And I think it's having that plan of, of going into it every single day. Okay, hey, if things don't go according to plan A, okay, here's what we're doing, and I think just, sticking to that every day gives us a chance to be successful.
Having this talented core group of guys, if you look top to bottom, I'm being a little bit of a homer here, but you have so many dudes with FAU offers. You have a guy with a commitment. Being able to set the guys up to, hey, maybe you stay home and you get to put on still for the city and have all of your family and your close supporters around. What is really, in your opinion, the biggest benefit to having such a major program down the road in Boca, and then also having one a couple minutes down the road down in Miami?
Well, I mean, I think, like you said, it gives the kids a chance to stay home, and not every kid's meant to leave state and go out of state. Sometimes it's best for a kid to be here close to home where they have that support system. In FAU, you're getting some of the best coaching in America. You got guys like Tom Herman that's done it at the highest level at Texas. I absolutely love what FAU is doing over there, and just knowing if our kids are going over with that staff and what they have doing, what they're doing over there, that they're going to have a chance to be successful, and that's what it's really all about. Is they're going to get some elite coaching over there, some of the best position coaches, coordinators, head coaches that you're going to find in college football, and get to do it in front of your family and not have to travel 3,000 miles. So I think that's always a benefit for kids that might be a little homesick or might not want to get out of the state of Florida.
Coach Potts, I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for hopping on the show. Always enjoy being able to talk ball with you. I don't want us to get down the rabbit hole. We could literally be here for 2 hours. Unfortunately, I only have an hour of airtime. But just want to thank you again for your time. Being one of the most successful athletes to ever come out of Akron, Ohio, I can't think of anybody else that's ever lived in Akron, Ohio that's been a better athlete. But thank you again for your time. Best of luck against Seminole Ridge this week.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you guys down the road.
Yes, sir. I will catch you in the next coming weeks.
Have a good one, guys. I'll talk to you.
Thank you. But all right, everybody, just me now. I know his hair looked a lot better than mine, even with the hat. But right now, Mr. Chance Routson is experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties. I'm going to send things to a break. I'm going to try to walk him through, and we'll see what's going to happen. DJ Steven, get on the turntables, my friend. I was really wanting that song to play out. DJ Steven out here with the bangers. But I just received word, guys. Chance is unable to make it onto the show tonight due to some personal things. He's trying to get home from practice, and I am not having him drive and interview. So I'm gonna get him on a different day when it's a little more convenient for his schedule. We're gonna get him on. Don't worry, Chance Routson, you are not escaping me, my friend. I'm gonna get you, Chancey. But Just want to thank everybody once again for tuning into the show. Steven, thank you for producing / DJing. Get that beat ready because we're getting off soon. But as always, make sure you're tuning into every other show on the Bleachers Brothers Sports Network. I'm a co-host on the LaStella Report. Myself, Robbie, Toby, Drew, the gang, the four of us. You love watching us. Make sure you tune in on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Toby's show, Back to the Dugout. Make sure you're tuning into that. Chef Tom's show, Joe Q's show. I don't remember the names, guys. Sorry. Everybody, make sure you're turning into everybody's shows because they've got some great stuff going on. But as always, I'm Christian Proscia. Thank you for allowing me to host the show. Hope everybody has a great night. See y'all on Wednesday.